and welcome to Logan Sounds Off, where I talk about books, music, and a whole lot more. I'm your host, Logan Kelly. Hello and welcome back to Logan Sounds Off. Today I'm doing another book review, but today I'm reviewing One of Us Is Next by Karen M. McManus, and I'm very excited about this book because I read the first book, One of Us Is Lying, and it was an incredible installment of the Bayview Four trilogy. The third book recently came out. It's 2023 actually, this year that it came out, and it's still in the first edition form, so if you're listening at the moment in 2023, you should definitely look for it, because I've heard some great things about it. But no, another year and another drama and a whole new set of rules. This is what this book's all based about. Bayview High is just about recovered from what happened with Simon Kelleher. If you don't know what happened, read the first book, because you cannot read the second book and not read the first. But Simon Kelleher was Gossip King, and not in a good way. Not in a kind of gossipy, like, I mean, this guy posted up really inappropriate stuff online. Inappropriate not as in, I mean, inappropriate content. I mean, inappropriate for the time and age that we live in 2023. Nobody should have to live through the humiliation of having their secrets posted online. Obviously, it's not good to keep secrets, but that's a whole other conversation that, honestly, I'm not doing right now. But, there's a new copycat who's not ready to forget him, which is really annoying. And a school-wide game of truth or dare seems a bit fun, but it's lethal. Choosing the truth may reveal your darkest secrets. One of them, the first one that's released, oh wow, that's a juicer. And the dare could be dangerous and even fatal. Winky, wink, wink, wink. Read the book and you know what I mean. The teenagers of Bayview must work out together once again to find the culprit before it's too late. This is very weird. I don't think they've truly found out everything by the end of this, which really annoyed me. I got really annoyed at that, but no, it was a brilliant book. Very odd again, like the first book, as a detective book. This was published by, I believe that's Puffin. I probably have that wrong. It's probably Penguin. Yep, that's Penguin. Sorry, there's a lot of them. But this was released originally in 2020. So this woman, Karen, releases books all the time. She's very fast at writing. But no. This is very, very, very interesting. It's in parts, which is nice as well. At the end of part 1, it's like a mic drop. And at the end of part 2, well, it's the end of the book, you're left very confused. And that's actually costing this book a lot in this review, because I didn't like the way they didn't finish off everything. Even if the book was like 1,000 pages, I don't care. Finish the story, please. I mean, I know it would be the Bayview Four trilogy. Four trilogy. But I still think they could have added in a lot more in this book. Well, Karen could have. Again, very good. I actually really like the front cover. It works very well. I know on my bookshelf, I'm going to link a photo in the podcast details on the website of my 3 Karen M. McManus books up against each other. I actually haven't read One of Us Is Back, but we've got another book there that soon I will be reviewing called You'll Be the Death of Me. But no, very interesting, this book. It had some very good vocabulary as well. It took a long time for me to read and get through, to be honest. I sat down one morning and I read about 200 pages of it, and I loved it. It was crazy how much I read that morning because I was so addicted. But you can't go too much on this book because eventually you'll just get kind of bored, which is another factor of this book that I didn't really like. It's kind of dull in comparison to other books, if I'm being honest. I mean, when you get a twist, it's really cool. But I don't know. there's something about Karen M. McManus that just makes it, instead of being a 10 out of 10, it's kind of like an 8.5739 out of 10. It's not just there. It's close to 9 out of 10, but it's just not there. I mean, if you're into detective books, I'd recommend this. If you're into teenage YA stuff, I'd recommend this. If you like YA books but you don't like detective stuff, you're not going to like this. Honestly, I never read any detective novels. I'd say the most detective-y thing that I've ever read was Hound of the Baskervilles by Arthur Conan Doyle. So that was about it. But no, this book was very good altogether. I'm trying not to diss this too much because it's pretty good, but I don't want to dismiss it too much because it's a great author, and it might have just been in a bit of a funk releasing the second book in the series. That I don't think there was meant to be a second book. If I ever get the chance to talk to Karen M. McManus, the woman herself, I don't know if there was meant to be a second book. I'm not sure. I haven't actually looked at many interviews with her, but it would be interesting to know, was this meant to be an actual book? Maybe she didn't even want to write anymore. But I guess when the Netflix series came out, it was everything. You can find all these books in great bookstores, and actually bad bookstores. You'll find, well, there's no bad bookstore in my eyes, but in some people's eyes, there is. So you can get bookstores anywhere. These in bookstores anywhere. There's a Netflix series out now, which obviously you can find on Netflix. But it's for any kids who are listening. Remember, there's a YA book. I would rate it 12 and over. And the series is 15s on Netflix. So, if you're younger than me, don't read the books. And if you're at the same age as me, even, don't watch the TV series, because it's not for us. It's 15s. But anyways, I will talk about the age rating later. And this is definitely not the same as the first book. It's very different. To be honest, when I bought this book, I didn't think it would be great. Which I never judge a book by its cover, but when you get a second book in a series and you thought the story was finished, you tend to think it's going to be bad, because they're just trying to drag out the story even longer. Actually, Karen M. McManus, she did a weird job on this book, but she still did a good job. I didn't feel it was being dragged out. I just felt it was kind of like, this book isn't finished. Like, even though you thought it was finished, there is more. There is more that happened. And I feel like it's kind of like One of Us is Lying is the prequel, and the other two are in this kind of like one-shot 2-book series that just is going to finish off. One of Us is Lying, obviously you have to read it to understand One of Us is back. But, One of Us is Next. I hope I haven't been calling it One of Us is Back, but no. One of Us is Next. You need to read the first book to understand it. And I would recommend reading the next book afterwards. And I would recommend reading Cousins, You'll Be the Death of Me, Two Can Keep a Secret, and all the other books that Karen M. McManus, what a handful, is going to release in the future. But overall, it's a very interesting book. And I'm going to rate this book a strong 4-star. I'm going to tell you why. Here I go. I love the book, but there was a bit of things that were a bit botched. For example, I think Karen could have left it on a cliffhanger at the end of the first book, and that would have really aided the second book, because I would be a lot more excited to read the second book if I knew that something was going to happen. Oh no, this was kind of like part 1 of a story. It was One of Us is Lying, the problem was solved, then moving on to part 2. It was kind of like moving on to part 2. This is a second problem now. I didn't like that idea. I kind of like the way the Lord of the Rings, in a way, and also with Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It all follows in, it all works together perfectly, because it moves on from one to one to one. This one's kind of like, this is book 1, this is book 2. It's very blocky instead of being smooth. But no, I don't know about this series, so that's why I'm going to give it a 4. I know I can't judge because I'm giving it a 4 and I'm a bit confused about what I think about the series, but at the moment, I think it's going to be a 4. If you like this book review, you should definitely check out any other book reviews that you can find on my website. I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode of Logan Sounds Off. You can follow me on X, Facebook and Instagram at Logan Sounds Off. And don't forget to subscribe and not miss any more cool episodes. Bye guys!